Excuse me. Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits. Beautiful Friday here in Blackstone. The sun is coming in the foyer, and let's have a Zen Fit. While I'm talking, and let's stay current. While I'm talking, I was watching Morning Joe and breaking news, and there was a shooter in Pensacola, Florida, at the base there, and I think 2 people were shot, but the shooter's dead. It's under control. Oh, I was so worried. I wanted to go lock my door. I thought, oh my God, he's here in Blackstone. Oh my God, but he's dead. Oh. And now the and now the proliferation of talk over the shooting, which is now gone, and the pundits and the experts and the police, and they're all talking about it, as if the talking about it will make it go away or fix it so it won't come about, you see. But it'll be next week, there'll be another breaking news, a shooter. Oh, he's dead. Phew, I was so worried. See what's happening? We're in a different age now. Most of us, maybe half of us, remember the print age. Do you remember the print age? The print age was when you came home from work or you got up in the morning and you read the newspaper. And the newspaper told you about yesterday's news. And it's information. And it's informative. And you can talk about it. And you can do something about it. But you're not immediately jacked up on fear. There's no breaking news in the newspaper. Oh, there's a shooter. There is no, it's kind of like the electronic media has changed consciousness from separate people reading a newspaper, being informed by it. When you read a newspaper, you're not reading it as a group. You're not reading it as one mind. You're reading it as your mind. And the paper, the print, delivers information about the world to you personally. And of course, in the patriarchal world, the father knows best. The father comes home from work and his wife gives him a drink in a newspaper. And look at all of the all of the old movies and everything, the men are always reading the newspaper. In the household, the man's reading the newspaper. They're reading the newspaper, you see, but it's very calm. It's very still, you see. Nobody's jacked up. Of course, they can get headlines, Hitler surrenders, and they're grabbing the headlines, but yesterday's news. So, headlines are emotional, but the news is informative. But now we live in an electronic news that is universal and instant, and it's emotional. News is emotional, and it's in real time now. I mean, you can see, if they're quick enough, you can watch the shooter shoot and be shot. Nothing is more riveting than real time. And I really think this kind of, I think it really became a matter of collective fear at 9/11. 9/11 was a collective trauma with PTSD, and we're still suffering from the PTSD of 9/11, which shattered our sense of collective immortality. America never felt vulnerable because it has 2 oceans on either side. Even here in Blackstone and in Southern Virginia, during World War II, my wife was here, and the town had an air warden, and they would have blackouts, and and they would have people going around through town. If you had any light showing, they were not, oh, you got a light coming out there. So it really was kind of like a participation in the war, because there was no rational way the Germans are going to have an aircraft carrier and fly over and bomb Blackstone. You know, so it was kind of like an imaginary, but it was a way of everybody got to participate in the war. But I digress. The point is now that when there is a shooter, breaking news, there's a shooter even in Paris or England or Texas or whatever, it's almost like we're hooked up to, you know when you go to the hospital and you're lying there and you're hooked up to that monitor, or you're watching the little thing, boop, 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 boop. You know, if you can actually make that change by imagining something fearful, or if some noise out there or something happens, you know, something, ooh, what is that? And go boop, 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 and then it goes back to boop, boop. So we're kind of like boop, boop, breaking news, boop, 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 boop. And that's a collective. It's like we're hooked into a hospital collective nervous system monitor. And shooters now become a ritual. I mean, anything that happens twice becomes a ritual. If you repeat anything, it becomes a ritual. And the ritual is like a metaphor. A ritual has a literal meaning. The literal meaning is there is a real shooter in Pensacola, a fact. That's one finger. But a metaphor or ritual has two fingers. One finger points to the fact, and the other points to the meaning. But the meaning, the reference for the meaning of the fact is the fact that happened in Pensacola, and then you can get into, well, who did it, and when did he do it, and what kind of gun did he have, and the news comes in there, and how many bullets was in the gun, and what kind of bullets were they, and who made those bullets, and why did that manufacturer make those, you can just spin that, for 2 days you can talk about and dissect that one fact. There was a shooting, boom, and you can just spin it panacea, it's a proliferation of thought, all over there. It's just like drop a little pebble into the pond, and it expands like that with expanding comments and thought, and experts, and historical references, you see, and digging into it, and what can we do to prevent it, and you can consume, a whole day of news when it's a big shooting. And then it kind of like dies down, boop, 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 and then another shooting, boop, 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 and everybody watches it. This is a ritual. This is a ritual. So what is the meaning of this ritual? Now, the meaning of the fact is, of course, what all the panacea, the thought is about. What is the meaning here? But nobody really gets to the meaning of the fact as ritual. A few people do, but the fact of the meaning is I'm included in that meaning, because we are the viewer, we are the collective mind that is agitated by this repeating ritual of mass shooting. So we're looking for the cause in the wrong place. If it repeats itself, and we can't stop it, and we can't find, if you find the cause of anything, you remove the cause, the effect, this is what Buddhism is. Buddhism, see how I always end up there. So the Buddha says there is suffering, there is a shooting, there is a cause to the shooting, and if you see the cause, you remove the cause, and the effect is removed, which is the shooting. And the third is the removal of the effect, which is the cessation of suffering. So you've got suffering, the cause, and the end of suffering. That's the first three noble truths. The fourth is, well, how do you create the conditions so you can remove the first three? Okay? So the first one is there is a shooting and it causes fear in the nation, there is a cause. Now we're looking for the cause, you see. Well, guns are the cause. No, mental illness is the cause. No, it's, I don't know, what are the other causes? Drugs, video games are the cause. You know, so we go through a list of causes, but you can't remove any of them because you can't remove, well, then that's the fear. You see now that you know, oh, well, we'll remove guns. Well, now that creates another fear response. I'm not going to remove my gun because I got to protect myself from the shooter. So that creates another vortex of fear. You see, wow, 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 remove them. No, don't remove them. Wow, 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 you see. So obviously we're looking in the wrong place, you see, because the reference is to the cause of the shooter happening. So we don't see it in the larger context of our living in an electronic, real-time media world, you see, where we're all hooked into this fear machine that, like a pebble dropping, an event dropping into this pond, creates a fear, a ripple of fear that we instantly feel as a collective. And then we respond to that collectively, first of all, by watching the news. So whenever there's a breaking thing on the media, you stop doing what you're doing and watch it. All the programming, everything stops. When there's breaking news, when there's a shooting, everything stops. We focus on it. Like a spider focusing on a fly. Like a cat focusing on a mouse, you see. Everything stops. Thinking stops. When it's real time, it's like sports. In the sense you're at a stadium and you're watching the game, maybe you're eating popcorn, you're getting a beer, you're doing this and that, but then suddenly something is happening in real, and you know, and there is a play, there's a breakout, there's breaking play, there's a breaking play, everybody watches, boom. You stop eating popcorn, you stop drinking the beer, you stop talking. Wow, the whole collective focuses on that breaking play. So here we are in this stadium of the media, in this vast collective stadium of the media. And we're watching our little sports, and we're watching our little plays, and you're watching Morning Joe or a soap opera, whatever, yada, 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 going on, you see. And suddenly, breaking news, boom, 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 and everybody, whoa, what is it? And everybody focuses. The whole stadium focuses on that breaking news, you see. That's tremendous power. Just imagine the whole, this big mind, the American mind, if not the global mind, since people in Europe are watching it too, but not as much. There's the American mind. It's one mind, and it becomes focused. It becomes one force when there's breaking news, you see. Boom. Just imagine the power of that. Just imagine. And this is the only way now. And so when we're not breaking news, you see, we're all back in our fragmented little minds. Our little minds is fragmented. Every little piece, it's like a big sheet, you know, broken piece of bread. You know, it's the Eucharist. You break the bread. So every little piece, every crumb of that loaf, of the one loaf, you see, is me. We're all little crumbs of one loaf or big American mind. And the only time this big American mind restores its unity, restores its oneness, you see, is when there's breaking news. And then the whole loaf comes together in one attentive, focused mind. Oh, you're right there, you see. And nobody's, in that moment of breaking news, in the moment that 9/11, the planes hit the tower, in the moment of the breaking news and shooting in your real time, you're not going to the toilet. You're not going to get a beer. You're not talking about the program. You're focused. So it's kind of like this ritual of unity in this electronic mass mind, you see. So it's very ironic now that we and great rituals unify us, you know, the great rituals of death of a president, the great rituals of the coronation, of the inauguration. You see, all these great spectacles unify the world, you see. And so now we seem to be unified by death. We seem to be unified by mass shootings. The bigger the shooting, the more unified we are, and the more media times it gathers, and the more flowers on the grave, and the more angst and fear and panache, and panache's proliferation of false thought, you see, and the more it spreads and unifies us on this one thing, and then it begins to, we can't sustain it, and the ripple comes back, and we're back to boop, 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 until the next death, you see. And we say, personally, oh my God, death is here. Oh my God, death is here, you see. Reality, the moment is here. And it, you know, it's almost like the only time it's real is when there's death. And we experience that. You know, the doctor calls, you got cancer. Oh my God, death is here. Suddenly everything becomes real. All the old crap I've been doing falls away, and I become very, very focused on just being alive. Or you're driving, listening to music, oh, you see, and suddenly a truck or car veers over in your lane, and the next thing you know, you are very, very real. You're driving. You're not thinking about, oh, should I turn left or right? What should I do? Or should I turn? Should I stop? You know, there is none of that. You're just surviving. You're just, you know, getting out of the way. And then when you get through that, being very, very real, that breaking news, that fear of death, you see, now you think about it. Oh my God, I almost died. Oh my God, I better go make a will. Or oh my God, what happens and what happened if that? And what if I, you know, yada, 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 and we'll talk about it, you know, and all that. But in the moment of breaking news, we're very, very real. So it's almost like we're living in this fragmented media, inauthentic reality in the breaking news. Whoa, for a moment, we're real. And we feel the fear, you know, oh my God, the shooter is here. Oh no, he's in Pensacola. But emotionally, nervously, in our being, you know, oh, death is here. I'm real. I'm focused. What's going on? Is he gone? Did they get him? Did they get him? Oh, he's dead. They shot him. Oh, phew. See? Anyway, that's my Zen Fit for today. Thanks for dropping in. Whoops, excuse me, I hit the camera.